We are so
Ghana.
happy that you guys have decided to join us today. We're going to do a little bit of an
BK.
introduction. Can you stop now?
Brooklyn in the house.
She has to keep going. You can stop now.
Inside voice.
It's Gwen. So I'd love to introduce us. If some of you are from Kara, some of you are from my followers, may not know Gwen, me, or Kara. So we're going to do a little introduction just so you can get to know us, and then we'll jump right into the material.
Yeah.
Gwen, you can start.
Take off my glasses. I hate them. Okay, so I'm Gwen Wunderlich. Dara and I are business partners in our company, Wunderlich Capital Communications. I'm also co-founder of Crazy Filthy Rich. I live here in Miami. I'm from Strong Island, or Long Island, as some of you may know it. We're New Yorkers. We moved down here about 3 years ago. We love it. We have really drastically changed our lives since we've moved down here in so many ways. That's why we're so passionate about what we're going to talk about today. Dog mom. Yeah, I don't know. Like, that's like, I don't know. We're publicists. I love what we do. We love what we do. We travel the world. Like, we really do have a great, time in life. And I'm so happy to be here with my bestie.
So I'm Dara. I'm business partners with Gwen in Wunderlich Capital Communications. We're co-founders in Crazy Filthy Rich, of course. A lot of you may know me from my Instagram back in the day, my YouTube channel. I know many of you have come from that, and I love that you followed me on this journey. We've changed our lives completely, and that is why, what Gwen said, we are so passionate about helping women get to their best selves and their lives, the 2.0 version, the best version you can be. And that's really my whole deal.
Yeah, I feel like it's 5.0. I'm over 2.0.
Yeah,
5.0.
we've had so many versions of ourselves, and I feel like women in general do. So we'll get into that later, and I'll let Kara introduce herself. I don't know her, but I'm sure most of you do.
Hi guys, I'm Kara. I'm an author. I have written 9 books. Some of you may know me from my book Girl Code. I have a podcast called Style Your Mind with over 9 million unique listeners. At this point, I'm from New York. I was in the corporate world for a long, long time, and I just decided to pursue my blog 14 years ago, which now has turned into books and a podcast and just a coaching practice for women entrepreneurs. Gwen and Dara are such great friends of mine. Gwen and I actually met. She started as one of my life coaching clients way back in the day.
And that's a funny story.
We'll tell you that
We'll
story.
get into that.
And we have just become friends, and now we get to collaborate on all of this incredible stuff. So it's so nice to meet you, for those of you that I don't know, and for everybody returning from my world. Hi.
And I saw there was a question about a replay. Yes, there will be replays available. That will be emailed to everyone. Emma answered already. You're so great, Emma. Okay, so what we're going to be talking about, of course, it's about making a comeback and why we decided to do that. Between the three of us, we have all really had lows in our lives that we've had to come back from. And we all feel that those lows have been pivotal in growing as people and making us the women we are today. So that is something that's what's inspired us to start this and talk about this with you guys.
Yeah, it's not so. I mean, so in the recent months or past year since COVID, we've heard from so many people. I just don't know where to start again. I feel stuck. I feel like I don't know what's next for me. Or I had a kid during COVID, not really sure where to go now. I got fired during COVID. I quit. COVID, kind of changed the world for a lot of people, and people kind of came out the other side like, I don't really know what's going on. Shit, is there a new variant? Like, what's happening? Like, what's safe? What's not safe? And there seems to be, from what we have been talking with a lot of women, like a confusion of like, what's new, what's next. And it's funny because I was talking with a few friends of mine that the answer was so simple to them, but of how they could like reinvigorate their lives, but they were so stuck in their everyday that they just couldn't even see it. So I said to Dara, I'm like, we have to create a course. We have to call it the comeback or something of that sort, because like
I came up with the name.
You did. I had a different name, and we'll talk about that later, but it was basically about going back to your core self, going back to who you are before anyone told you that you couldn't, you shouldn't, you wouldn't, anything. And just, being the best, dopest, hottest, coolest version of yourself that you can, the most powerful version of yourself. And I feel like over the past couple of years and coming into now, a lot of people have lost their power of like what they're capable of and like where they can really go in this world.
Yeah, and I think we were all kind of talking about like, what does a comeback mean? Like, how do you define a comeback? What does it look like for you? We hear that term all the time. And I know for me, it's like so much of my life is about letting go of my past and not letting my past define me. not letting the version of myself that someone may know from 10 years ago or 5 months ago or even a week ago define me and who I am and what I'm capable of. And I think that's one of the biggest secrets of moving forward in your life is and reinventing yourself is just letting it go. We don't forget our past. I think it's ingrained in us. It's part of our story. It's the thread of who we are, but not letting that define what your next step is and what's possible for you in life.
Right. So, what if you really did have the opportunity to leave your past behind, let go of anything that held you back, and especially and anyone that has ever held you back or told you who to be or how to be or how to act? And what if you could design your bold and beautiful new future for yourself? Well, you definitely can. Obviously, that's what we're here to tell you. You can do it right here and right now. And what if that was better than anything you could have ever imagined?
Yeah, I think that there's so many new possibilities out there, right? So like when I was younger, you couldn't even book tickets online yourself, right, to travel around the world. But look now, we can go, we can see, we like things are uncovered.
I just want to say when I first met Gwen and we first started working together, we would send party invites over email. And she would always tell the story. She goes, we didn't even have email when I started. I was faxing invites to people.
And I still had the party packed. Be clear.
Be clear, I
okay?
packed a party with a fax invite.
Totally.
So-
Standing there 3 days, fucking faxing my life away. Whatever, hot parties. But point being is that we have so many resources at our fingertips that like, I would say people that are over 45 and over really didn't have, but we all have now, right? So like there are no excuses. There is so many support centers. There's so many ways to do things that like maybe wasn't available before. So there really are just no excuses anymore.
And I think the biggest thing is this network of people, right? Like the fact that we all connected, whether it's through social media or our podcasts or our books or our communities, you guys have access right now to us, to each other. And I think these thriving communities that we've all created are really the key to success, sharing our secrets.
Social media has created such a wonderful, there's obviously a lot of negatives to it, but a really big positive is the connections that it allows for. And it allows people to share their stories and everyone grows from stories, right? And that's really what we're here to talk about. So,
well, hold on one thing. I want to just make one comment on the sentence Dara said, what if it could be better than you ever imagined, right? So, I think that when we're younger, we say, okay, my big life is, I want to, go to college, I want to get a job, I want to start a business, I want to have 3 kids, I want to get married. Okay. 10 years later, that's not your same goal, right? Maybe you're divorced, maybe your kids are annoying, maybe you love them, maybe they're going off to special boarding school, whatever it is, you have to constantly reinvent yourself. And there are so many things that happen in your life that you're like, well, that happened to me, a divorce, a death, a something. Guess what? That's when you've got to pivot. And sometimes it really better than what you imagine. At different times when we all had bad relationships and we were like, we never thought that our life could be as good as it is now.
And something
we reimagined it.
We're going to talk about that. I see one person not on mute. Can you make sure everyone is on mute just so we don't hear the background noise? Emma, if you can just mute everyone. Thanks. I lost what I was going to say about the situation.
You and I were talking about.
Yeah. So Kara and I were talking last night about, this Buddhist philosophy and hang with me for a second. And in Buddhism, they say like, you are never going to live a life free of pain. There is always going to be circumstances and things that are painful and you are going to suffer. And the key is to learn to navigate that, to ride those waves and still have a successful life because there's no way around the pain and suffering. But there is a way to keep yourself above it all and still living an epic, amazing, joyful life. So,
and I think that's a great point, Dara, because I think there's a lot of people out there who are like, once you reach this level in your life, like, everything's great and everything's smooth and you never have heartbreak, you never, lose money, you never have a failure. And that's just not reality. And we don't, that's not a negative thing. That's reality. So I think we all come from, and through our experience and our age and our wisdom, like we know what life entails, but we've also learned how to navigate that through different, ways of thinking. And I think keeping your mind as neutral as possible and understanding like it's great to have those high highs, but there's going to be low lows, but if you can kind of stay even keeled, that's where your power really lies.
So some of the things we learned and that we're going to touch upon today are you do not have to let your circumstances dictate your life. And that's what we're talking about. There's always going to be negative circumstances that are going to bring you down and you got to get back up. So we're gonna talk about that. Well, and we are gonna get into all of our comeback stories as well. They're juicy. They're real juicy people. Stay on for those. And so another is you are the creator in your life. You are a powerful, powerful creator.
Yep. I think also realizing that life is always happening for you, not to you. My friend Amanda Francis said something last night in one of her posts. She's a dear friend of mine. And she said something like, you don't see things lining up for you all the time. You think things are moving slowly in life. You think they're not happening. But like God, the universe, whatever you believe, your higher power was always pulling the strings for you behind the scenes. And that gives me chills because it's true, right? Like it's always lining up. There's always magic. There's always something going on. It's just staying faithful and staying, in your power and realizing that like you just need to kind of sit back and like realize that everything is serving you in life and it's happening for you and you're not like a victim of your circumstances.
Absolutely.
When you say everything is happening behind the scenes, really interesting. Around the holidays this year, I was up to do this project in Saudi Arabia, and it was this amazing part of Saudi Arabia called Alula. And, it's kind of like Jordan and Petra, I'm sorry. And, and I worked all of Christmas, I worked all of the holidays to get the thing done, and I didn't hear nothing. And then I was thinking, I applied to go to Harvard to take this course. I didn't hear anything, and everything was like stagnant the first 2 weeks of the year. And I was like, I told Dara, I'm like, why are people so slow? Why aren't people moving? Nothing's happening. Nothing's progressing. I don't get it. I put so much work in. Boom! All of a sudden, not only did I get the email back from Harvard, which was great. Okay, put that to the side for a second. Turns out I didn't get that Alula project, even though it was like really big, but I actually had doubt that I wasn't going to be able to pull it off because the team that brought in, I didn't know if they were really capable. Turns out that got put on the side, and something even bigger, better, my dream come true project where I got to do with Swiss Beats, Alicia Keys, and work on all this huge women's project there was on the exact same day in the exact same place, all on the other part of the world. I'm sitting in a tent with Alicia the next day in these gorgeous Bedouin tents, like my dream come true. I said, I was wearing my Harvard sweatshirt there because it was cold that night. And I go, I'm going to Harvard, girl. She goes, I'm going to Harvard too. Me and you would take in the same class together. So then I got to go to class with Alicia Keys and do that whole vibe and energy. So it was even better. There was magic behind it, and now me and her, the family, were like, doing work together. But it's like, you never know kind of what's happening, even if you're frustrated.
So true. There's been so many times, and I say this a lot, so people that have been with me know this. And I am not I'm not a religious person, but I am spiritual. But I love this saying. God, rejection is God's protection. And I've seen it happen to all of us so many times in our lives where you think you're being told no, or you think something awful has happened, you didn't get what you want. And in the end, it is such a blessing that you didn't, because there were so many better things waiting for you. And it just needed to work the way it did. And to have that faith and that trust is really important, because the rejection, someone just said rejection is redirection. I fully believe that.
I also think this would be like a good, like quick exercise for everyone to do right now. Like think of something in your life that you feel like is stressing you out, weighing you down, going wrong. And if you could just tell yourself right now in this moment, I'm giving this to the universe. I'm handing it off. Like just imagine yourself. Like I do this every night before I go to sleep. I'm like, I'm giving it to God, whatever you believe. Just say I'm handing it off and I'm letting it go. And I think coming at this next hour with us with that really clean energy is going to help you feel so supported.
Absolutely.
And so grounded in whatever it is that you're creating next.
Yeah, it depends like the kind of personality you have, right? So I'm super alpha. So I want it when I want it right now, happen.
Oh, really? You are?
Yeah,
Alpha?
I know, and I'm wearing pink. So bada bing, bada boom, pink alpha. There you go. But the thing is that I at one point had to let it go. There was literally nothing I could do. The people who were deciding my fate was across the world, and but our friend, our good friend Kathleen and client, she says, and something she said to Dara and I, she goes, operate with ease and flow. And honestly, no one had ever told me that in my entire life, because I'm such aggressive. I'm a publicist. But once we started doing that a little bit, like what Kara said, that just giving it to like whatever's going to be is going to be, actually take some pressure off of you.
Yeah, and it doesn't mean that you're not taking action. It doesn't mean that you're not showing up for yourself every day. It doesn't mean that you're not envisioning what you want, but you're understanding that there's a power, there's something else so much greater than what you can do yourself. And I think when you have that faith in that, and then whatever it is you believe in, the stars, the moon, whatever, I think that is when your life starts to really change for the better.
Absolutely. Sorry, I just have to say this one more time. Can everyone mute themselves, please? Thank you. So the next thing we want to talk about is really getting far with the power of belief, and we just kind of touched upon that. The power of belief and how it starts as your inner world dictates your outer world. I just want to make sure. Emma, I think maybe we can mute everyone. Okay. So you really can just start all of these things today to make a change with everything in your life. That good feeling really snowballs into a big ball of confidence. That Gwen, big ball of confidence.
Yeah, but you know what? Also, the other thing, in order to make a great comeback for yourself, is the power of yes. Stop saying no. Stop saying I can't. Stop saying I won't. Stop saying I shouldn't. Stop saying, well, I don't know. What if you just say yes to new opportunities, new possibilities, a new friend group, like a new job interview? Like if somebody's like, you know what, I think you'd be perfect for this. No, I'm okay. What if yes was the door opener? Like every time that the door is being like pulled open a bit and you just slam it shut with a negative no, like you're kind of wiping out the possibilities of greatness.
And I think everything's an experience. So even if you say yes to something and it doesn't pan out the way that you want it to, you're still learning and you're adding to like your resume of life, if you will. And the more experiences that you have, whether they look like failures to you or mistakes or redirections or whatever you want to call them, the better you're going to become as a woman, the stronger you're going to become. Even the shitty things that happen to us, right? Again, they're happening for us.
Well, we have definitely said yes to a few things we probably shouldn't have. And this was all in my insistence, like for sure. And I was like, well, that was a total fuck up.
I can name quite a few of those, but I'll refrain.
It's always a good time though.
Depends who you're
Tell
asking.
us one. Tell us one.
I mean, basically one is that like I made it so we can do this huge fashion show like on Saturday night because we're filming it for the TV show we're filming. And I thought that other people like at the show were going to be inviting everybody. And I was like, oh my God, it's going to look so good for us. Don't worry about it. We're not going to have to do any work. We're just going to sit back and look fabulous. Like we're going to have our Sex in the City Samantha Jones moment. It's going to be great. And they were like, oh no, you guys have to get 350 people in the seats. You guys have to do the front row. You guys, I was like,
I
oh,
was
shit.
so mad.
After I forced the client to sign the contract.
She forced everyone to do this, and then it all falls on us to actually do all of the work.
Okay, but we are at capacity. Thank you so much. And we did not fax invites. So go ahead. Okay.
She did pigeon carrier this time.
We did a lot of work. And so for anyone that's hasn't seen, we are going to be on a show on MTV, so that's really exciting. So we
Yeah,
are
really
doing some
fun.
filming for that.
Another
now.
thing you couldn't have planned, right?
Oh,
like
no.
another thing that you just
way.
said yes and it happens.
No, and that's funny. I was going to mention that when the rejection is redirection. So we were up for a certain kind of role within the show, the cast, the ensemble. And they changed it on us last minute. And at first I was really disappointed. I was like, oh, I don't feel that it's going to be as good. I don't feel we're going to have as big as a part. And I was really upset about it. And it turns out to be so much better. It was such a blessing. We love the girl that we're working with.
She's the star of the
And
show.
she's the star of the show. And it's just so funny. It's a prime example of that, so.
Yeah.
But I also want to say everything is easier that we're talking about with mentors and a group of supportive women who are all on the same path. And that's what's so important about community. I think it is imperative to have a group of women around you, supporting you, cheering you on, because that's who lift each other up in this world.
So someone just say Kara's full circle moment. If you're talking about her working at MTV and us being on the MTV show.
Even funnier.
Yeah.
Our producer, Kara, and he knew each other and have been friends for a long time.
Well, I worked at MTV and I had the most unglamorous job at MTV. I want to say that, right? I took a job there because I wanted to work there so badly. It was like my dream since I was 16 years old. I interned there and I took a job as an ad trafficker. And I don't know if anyone knows what that means.
Programmatic
probably
advertising.
don't know what that means. It's horrible. I was troubleshooting ads online all day. But I wound up working with this producer and he was incredible. And he worked on the marketing side, which is where I really wanted to work. But I was on the ad tech side. And we worked together for 8 years. And it turns out he's the producer of the show that they're on. And I'm meeting him again after all these years tonight on a yacht.
Our producer that
right. And we're like, we know Kara. He's like, I know Kara. We're like, Kara, you know him? So we're all hanging out tonight at a yacht party. So that'll be pretty fun.
So you just never know. I could never have predicted that.
And I was like pitching our own show to them with Kara as part of the cast. So who the hell knows what's going on?
We'll see.
So the point is,
It's in God's hands.
you never know how Gwen
Gwen's
a
is
pusher.
the best pusher you'll ever meet in your life. She always includes
God's
Oh, we
hands,
all-
but Gwen's push.
Yes. Oh, I love that.
That's
We need that on a
inside.
sweatshirt.
That's a-
But like, this is an example, I think, the three of us, of like really truly supporting the women around you. Like, even if it's not going to benefit you in some way, like Gwen's putting me in the mix. It's not doing anything for Gwen. She's my friend. So she's doing it for me. When I have opportunities, I mention Gwen's name in a room, you know, and like with Dara, like we all do that for each other. And I think it's so important.
and it's really important. I feel like there's a lot of like, and Karen and I were talking about this yesterday too, like this faux women's empowerment because it's like a trendy thing. No, you got to cut that shit out and really empower
do it.
other women, really support other women, really lift up women, you know, talk to them, help them, give advice when needed. So yeah, and I think, you know, and there is some quote where it's like, talk about your friends and support them when they're not in the room.
Yep.
When the world isn't looking at you to do it. I see so many people on social media doing it because that's what's supposed to be done, right? That's the trendy thing. But really do it. Do it behind the scenes when no one's looking
It's
at you.
more than a hashtag. It's an action.
Exactly. Exactly. All right. So
Well, we are going to move
Sorry.
forward, but I do want to say this one thing. With anything that you take from today, we want you to put into actionable step for yourself, obviously, because at the end of the day, even if it's so hard for you to take that first action and that first step, I promise you that once you start seeing some successes from it, whether it's, you guys know the deal, right? You get on the scale, you see a couple of pounds, you're like, oh, snap. Okay, I'm going to keep going, right? But that's with anything. Once you start seeing the wins, that snowballs and starts building your confidence. Once that little bit of confidence has, and you start building more confidence, next thing you know, you're changing your whole life over if that's what you'd like to do for yourself. But it has to start with just one step. And that's why it is really important to be in groups, whether it's our Crazy Filthy Rich group, whether it's Kara's group, she has several, and be around people to cheer you on. Because even if you make one little thing like, I quit my job today, you want people being like, yes, girl, that's amazing. That you never know who you're inspiring along the way. Trust me when I tell you that one little way, that one step that you made can have a snowball effect of positivity around people around you.
And you have to be hungry for those opportunities and look for those situations to put yourself in the rooms where people are having these conversations.
Absolutely. Okay, so do we want to get into our comeback stories or what?
Do you guys want to hear from us about what we've kind of overcome as inspiration, or do you want to get into like some action items?
We can skip our stories.
Yes, they want to hear it. Oh yeah,
You want? Okay.
both. Okay.
Well, we're definitely going to get into the action items. I didn't know if anyone
Yeah.
wants to hear our.
So it's
So
spill
spill
the
the
tea.
tea.
Okay. All right, who wants to go first?
Gwen, you.
I go into it.
You want me to start?
Anyone but me.
Anyone but me. Okay. My comeback story, I'll talk about it. So I was in a really bad relationship for a long time. He was, I'll just say, addicted to drugs, bringing me down with him, not in the drugs, never did drugs. But, you know, when someone isn't living to their best full potential, the people around them kind of get dragged down. I was supporting him. I was getting fat. I was unhappy. I was unmotivated, all because of who was around me. And when I finally decided to get rid of him, I had to kind of crawl out of that place I was in, whether it was a depression from being unhappy, overweight, not feeling my best self. And when I did, it changed my life. I will tell you, it changed my business. It changed my health, number one. It changed my I think my personality, my outlook on life, all of it. So sometimes your comeback is going to be including getting rid of some dead weight around you. And
It always is most
Yeah,
likely
most-
going to be getting dead weight around you.
right. And that allowed me, so I didn't have to support someone else anymore. I could focus on me. I didn't have to worry about someone and their issues. And that really helped me then propel myself forward in my career and everything we were doing.
So I am going to go next, Kara, just because I want to jump into
Plays off
exactly
of-
what you said. When Dara just said, when I got rid of this one thing, and then I was able to do everything else. Okay, so I'm just going to go into quickly my story so we don't waste so much time. But basically, I was married, total fucking loser. He was on some fake bootleg Bernie Madoff type of shit. Anyway, I say that to say he was doing a lot of people dirty, a lot of people wrong. I was kind of trying to stay out of it. But whatever, it is what it is. Through that, even though we were making great money in our business, all my money was kind of going to all his garbage. And The bills were piling up to the point that Bob's Furniture, which Bob's is gross now for me, but whatever, was knocking on the door, and I was hiding as they were trying to take back the furniture because he wasn't even paying the bills.
They were also calling me to find her.
There were just so many levels of deceit and just grossness. I didn't stay in the marriage because I wasn't confident. I always thank God I had amazing, epic parents. I have amazing parents, and they have always instilled hardcore confidence and possibility of anything. That wasn't it. It was that I came from parents that were very giving. We always had foster kids in my house. All the neighborhood kids always came to my house. But because of that, I wanted to help. I thought I could heal. I thought that I could change him or change a situation, a scenario. Okay.
Me too. I want to say that. That was a lot of the reason. And I think a lot of us as women do this. We stay in these toxic relationships. We want to help. We want to help them. We think we can change them, and we can't. You can't change people unless they want to change. So I just want to jump in
Right.
and say
So
that.
I kept trying to do that at that point, but I remember this was going on for a few years at this point. It was just one Christmas break, and like, again, we were making great money. Everything was just being liquidated out of my accounts, out of this, out of everything, hemorrhaging. And I think we had like $100 in the bank, in my personal bank at this point during this week, Christmas week. Now, I want to tell you that at that point, Dara and I were in Forbes, we're in CNN, we're at CNBC. We are teaching women how to have epic careers. Okay. We have a big business. Okay. We are throwing parties for celebrities. Outwardly, we're killing it. I too was way overweight at that point. I was probably clocking 215 pounds. Okay. I definitely had like more breakouts on my face. But again, like I still like thought I was kind of fly out there, but I didn't realize what I was doing. Like, I would be taking the train and be sitting for hours and eating bad foods and be going out and doing all this. And I just was at my wit's end to the point that like I couldn't tell my friends about one more time that I wanted to get out. I didn't want to talk to my family because sometimes, right, when you're not happy in your job or whatever, and you keep saying it to your friends and they're like, get out, and you don't, they don't want to hear it anymore.
It's so true.
So I had to go to somebody else that didn't know me. And I found Kara, and I kind of saw her and I liked her. And even though I had $100 that day, I knew that when I got back to work, we got back into the city, more checks were coming in, whatever. So I remember I DM'd her, I emailed her, called. I think I did all three. I think I DM'd her, I called her, I emailed her, whatever. And she like flippantly was like, oh, hey, I'm on vacation. We can talk next week. And I had such angst. I'm like, that's it. I have to know this girl. I need something. I need help. Right.
And you want to know where I took your phone call?
Mhm.
I had left MTV at this point, but I was using the conference room because I needed somewhere to go.
Mhm.
And I was in an MTV conference room where I used to work, talking to Gwen on the phone, signing her on as a life coaching client. I was like 2015.
And the thing is, at that time, I didn't believe in life coaches. I didn't believe in any of that stuff. I was like, whatever, I'm great. I could do it. But I was at my breaking point. And after we met, we talked, I think the second time, we really liked each other. We're talking, we're friendly. And she looked at me, and I was complaining about Dara. And it was because Dara was starting to move on and be better. And I was still stuck there. And I was complaining about work, and I was complaining this. And she said to me very quietly, she goes, I hear everything you're saying, and I'm sure that I validate everything you're saying, but we're not talking about the white elephant in the room. And the white elephant was the core of everything that my drama and bullshit was surrounded by, which was this marriage, right? I wasn't happy with my weight because I wasn't happy at home. I wasn't having sex, forget that part, you know what I mean? But I didn't even care, or I didn't have any money because it was all going away. I was not mad at Dara, even though I loved her, I was happy for her, but I was pissed because she left and I still stayed. So everything was this core. And once I made the decision, and it was heartbreaking to say, listen, it's me or you, and I have to choose me. God bless you, but I'm done with this. And once I did that, I was able to take back my life. I was able to make a really strong comeback, an epic comeback. Like I rebuilt my credit, I stacked my cash, I lost 45 pounds, I did this. I mean, you name it. I was like, screw this, I'm moving to Miami too while I'm at it. So I did all these amazing things. Our business is better than it's ever been. And I just say this to say is that I needed that for myself too. So like, it doesn't matter how successful also you see people on the outside, like everyone, as we know, this is constantly going through something.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I'm done. But
and mine, I'll just tell you guys quickly, like my story is also relationship related. Not that this is only about relationships, but I think we can all relate to that. Not everyone here is an entrepreneur. Not everybody wants to be one. Like, of course, we can talk about business, but I think if your well-being is being affected by another person, whether that's a spouse or a partner or whatever, like you're always going to stay in a stagnant place. And for me, the relationship I had in my 20s, not my ex-husband, who's wonderful. We broke up for different reasons, but the relationship I had in my 20s for 7 years, he was an extremely emotionally abusive guy. It was the first relationship that I was in. I was 21 when I met him, 28 when we broke up, and I was in love with him, and I had not one shred of self-esteem. And he knew that. And he played on that over and over and over again. And he would say to me, and you guys are going to freak out because you know me now as who I am. But when I say these things he said to me, I want you to understand the place I was in and where I am now and how you can get there too and change. He would say to me, what do you think people think when we walk in a room? You don't think they look at you and wonder why is he with her? He would say things like that to me. He told me, because I wanted to get married like every girl does in their 20s for whatever reason.
Because that's what we're told to do.
That's what we're told to do. And he told me, he was like, if you lose 30 pounds, I'll get you an engagement ring. And I remember going on a diet, trying to lose 30 pounds, like sick to my stomach. And I was skinny at this point, you guys, like I was way thinner than I am now, it was just horrible. And we got to a point where he was going to propose to me for whatever reason. I guess he felt like he wanted to be, it was very weird. If you've ever been with a narcissist, it's like a lot of up and downs. And he went to my mom and he said to her, do you have her passport? Like, I'm taking her to Paris. I'm going to propose to her. And my mom called me. I was at MTV working there, and she called me and she was crying and she was like, I don't want to ruin what could be the best moment of your life, but I need to tell you this. He's planning to propose and you can't do it. She's like, I would never tell you as your mother what to do, but you cannot marry this man. And my whole family got involved. It was like an intervention.
Oh my gosh.
And I have chills. And we wound up, that whole summer just dragged on. And it was like, I still wanted to be with him. Like I was begging him to be with me. And I'll never forget, my grandmother passed away, who I was super close to. He came to the funeral, he put on a whole act like, he was like, the best man ever. And we went back to my house and he looked at me and he spit in my face. He literally spit in my face and he said, you're disgusting. And that was the moment that I was like, now I'm getting physically abused. I have to leave this relationship. And I left and I started the Champagne Diet blog. And like, here I am today, now at this point in my life. So like, when I tell you that you can come from any type of situation, dealing with any type of person, it's possible. And there's a huge healing journey involved and a whole way of getting to know yourself again. But, it's like, who would have thought? Like, I don't even recognize the person that I was back then.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
So that's a powerful story.
Sorry, that was like a lot to me.
I need a drink now. We got your coffee hour. It should have been cocktail hour.
I wasn't planning to even tell that story. Look, I'm all red. That's how
Damn, I'm emotional.
It's real,
Yeah, it's crazy. Men can really suck sometimes. So can women. But anyway, the point is you can come back from any situation you are in and you learn to ride that and use it to your benefit. And I guarantee, while I would never wish that upon anyone, I guarantee that you were able to leverage that and learn from that to build yourself to who you are now.
That's why I became a coach. That's why I became a life coach, because I wanted to be able to help people. And then like when I met Gwen, that was like, I noticed like your relationship is causing all of these symptoms around you because it was doing the same thing for me. Like,
yeah, well, where I grew up, there was not one person that was divorced around me. I've never even seen a divorce. So I did not know that. I didn't come from that kind of life. Everyone was all happy-go-lucky in my family. So I didn't even see that. But one thing I did want to say about being spit in the face and Kara leaving is that she used that as the fuck this moment. Get there. That's okay. Like when you go to rock bottom, when somebody just like really bashes you out the park, be like, you know what? Fuck this.
Yep.
That's it. I'm making a comeback. It's over. It's a wrap. I got this for myself. You have to fight for yourself no matter what and all the time.
Yeah, absolutely. So we do want to move to giving you some of the powerful tools right now, right? So we want to give you actions that you can put into practice right now to get you started on your new path, the path you are designing your new life on. So maybe, Kara, you want to tell them a little about what we want them to do tonight?
Yeah. So we want to leave you guys with like some actionable tools and things you can do so you can start kind of like feeling the shift and feeling the change and taking all of this inspiration and applying it to your life and your situation. So if you have a notebook or a journal or a piece of paper, you want to write it on your computer, whatever works for you.
Napkin, whatever.
Cocktail napkin.
Actually, we all have great ideas on cocktail napkins.
Yeah, it's true. It's
Looking
true.
like J.K. Rowling. I mean, she built her like $1 billion empire on a a napkin. So
Okay,
I
well,
just
now,
look like
now I'm
napkin.
definitely
Now
doing
everyone needs a
napkin.
napkin.
Get a cocktail napkin.
For
We're gonna do
Billion, forget the journal.
All our journaling is now on cocktail napkin. Okay, but with a glass of champagne on it. But no, for real, like take something, right? And write down all of the things in your life right now that are stressing you out, that are defining you, things that you want to change, right? The circumstances, if you will, that you feel are holding you back. We want you to take that list, write it down, rip out that page of that journal, or delete whatever you write on the computer and rip it up when you're done. Look at it, reflect on it, and then get rid of it. Burn it.
I really
Yeah.
I like, taking it in, and I really like burning it. I love
Yeah,
like
I
just
would-
really destroying it and letting it go.
Yeah. So like it's scientifically proven that writing down things really make it mean more to you. Okay. So honestly, don't even do it on a computer. Take it on a piece of paper, write it down. Don't just, really go deep with it. Don't just think about like, this is annoying, this is bothering me.
Mhm.
Go deep with why am I like this?
Mhm.
What has happened to me? Where am I at today that I'm frustrated about that I thought I would be? Everything like, that is annoying to you on a deep level and you wish that it could be different. Put it all there, whether it is a divorce, whether it is a death, whether the time you got fired, whether the time you got into an accident,
The
anything.
way you feel about your body, the way you feel about you, the way you dress, where you live, whatever it is that's like weighing on you that you want to change.
Mhm.
All the
Acknowledge it.
plans you had for yourself that maybe never came to life, all the disappointments that you've had, all of it. Get it in, take it
And
in.
burn that shit.
And then
Literally go in the
burn
garbage can
that
outside and
shit.
burn it and release it and let it go. So I'm not responsible for any house
Yeah,
fires. So go
so
outside.
disclaimer, we
Yeah.
have no responsibility in any fires created.
Okay, this is what I do because I'm afraid to burn things in my house for like
Oh,
the
I'm
new
not.
moon
I
rituals.
love burning.
I just wet it. I wet the paper and I rip it up and I flush it down the toilet. And that
Okay,
works
or
too.
that, or that.
We live on a beach, so going outside and like burning it and into the ocean is like a really good.
I'm in a
great-
Manhattan apartment, so
Well,
it's a little
don't-
hard.
Although I
Not
do
starting
have to
fire.
say, we did try to do this at our client's retreat, and the
Oh my
wind came the
God.
other way, and we were like running from the burning lantern.
Yeah, that was in the Bahamas recently. That happened.
Everything that can go wrong did go wrong, but it was still awesome.
Okay, so then the next part of what you're gonna do is take out another piece of paper, flip to a brand new page in that journal, brand new cocktail napkin, and start writing down the woman you want to be. And this, I think you can have so much fun with this. You guys who follow me, you know that I have you guys do this ritual all the time, talk about it on the podcast. Create a storyline about this woman. Like write it out like you're writing a book or a screenplay, like in detail. Visualize who she is, where does she live, how does she dress, how does she feel about herself, what does her home look like, what does her partner look like, what do her friendships look like.
Mhm.
Start writing it down. Write down all those goals, everything that you're accomplishing, and write it in real time.
Mhm.
Like I am blah 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 blah. I live, and like get really creative and have fun with it.
One thing that Carrie did say to me too, she goes, okay, I get it. You have to remove this part of your life. And I was like, yeah, I do have to get a divorce. I do have to do this. But she said, listen, before you do that, I need you to write down what your perfect day looks like.
Mhm.
What does your perfect life look like? I did that. And then she goes, okay, what does your perfect day look like? And as I could plan my day, I saw what I wanted for myself. I saw that I didn't want the hecticness of New York City and that I wanted like peace. I wanted to wake up and meditate or do these things. And when you have an exact kind of it's in sight and you can say,
Vision.
this is how I want to do it,
You have a plan.
then like you can start to think of how you could get there. But without a plan, there is no steps you could take forward because then basically you're just stepping off a cliff.
Without clear goals, you can't make the proper plan to take the steps to get to that goal.
Yeah.
It's navigating blindly. You can't do that if you want to design your life purposefully. So that's the thing. Like so many times we just move blindly in life.
But
We're
it
reactive.
happens all the time.
Always.
Okay. So say like but think about it, like whether it's in a marriage or whether it's in like with children or okay, I gotta get up, I gotta get the kids, I gotta go here, I gotta do this. And life becomes a routine.
Right.
And because it becomes such a routine, there's lack of joy.
You're a
right?
robot. You become a robot.
There's
Mhm.
so I don't know if anyone knows Kabbalah, follows Kabbalah. I've studied it somewhat through my cousin. Yeah, Dara studies it. Shout out
She
to
has the
Nicole,
bracelet.
she's watching.
I don't have the bracelet actually.
Briefly, she follows the bracelet.
But there's
I don't
a
follow it.
concept in Kabbalah of being proactive versus reactive. And when we're reactive, we're in a state of like fight or flight, right? We're reacting to someone's bad mood. We're reacting to a situation. When we're proactive, we're planning ahead. We know what we want to, how we want to handle a situation. We know how to compose ourselves when someone comes at us sideways, right? We know how to handle a situation. So in your life, like that's a good thing to ask yourself, like, how can I be proactive about my life? How can I be proactive about my goals and my decisions?
Right. And, when, even if it is, hey, I want to wake up and I want to meditate for 10 minutes a day. Well, how does that look like? And how do you get there? So say you have a couple of kids, you're like, but it's always hectic in my house. Is it I wake up earlier? So from 6:15 to 6:30 is my time. And I'm telling my husband, if I have one or wife or whatever, this is my time. And I need to be a better person in my life. So this is what I need to do for myself. I think that the word selfish has really always been very like, well, she's selfish because she's taking time for herself. She's selfish or he's selfish, when really it's about self-care. You're taking time to take care of yourself. And there's nothing selfish about that.
Right. So I want you guys to think, what would it feel like to be inspired every day, to be grateful that you're finally living? And I mean like living, not just like
Like the drag
living.
living.
Yeah, you should do that because there's a drag queen inside you. Do it again.
She's out right now. He's out.
Okay. So you know the energy that certain people have, that je ne sais quoi, that like electric pull, they're magnetic and you just want to be around them because they're living a life filled with confidence, energy, and excitement. And what if you could have that too? That could be you.
And I think it's because they're living in their truth.
Oh, in
Like,
alignment.
Yeah, that's all
Totally.
that it is. It's not that they're better, they're not skinnier, they're not richer, they're none of those things. They're just living within their truth. So, we want you guys to really think about like, what does your truth look like? And if you're struggling with that, it doesn't mean it's not there. It doesn't mean you don't know. I saw a question pop up like, how do I know? You do know. You need to go inside. You need to go deeper. You need to quiet the noise around you and really take the time to reflect and dream it up.
Right. When someone says, I don't know what I want, that's not ever true. Like Kara said, there's just too much noise around you. So it is about quiet. When you say, I don't know what I want, or I can't find my passion, you got to go back to your childhood. You got to go back to like when you were the happiest, when something felt so great for you, even if you were doing it for free, if you were doing a rally on a college campus in the 70s, doesn't matter. If you felt invigorated then and you lost that, go back there and say, you know what from this made me feel so good. I felt important. I felt I was contributing to something. I was part of a movement. I was making a difference. And if those things felt good to you, those are things that you should be bringing into your current life. It doesn't have to be in your job. It could be a volunteer situation. It could be anything. But at core, you know what has made you happy and what has made you feel full of life.
And one thing I want to say, if you don't know what that is for whatever reason, or you can't connect back to that moment, a question I love to ask all of my coaching clients is, what am I not willing to say out loud? What am I not willing to say out loud? And for me, I'll tell you guys, it was, I want a divorce. When I wound up getting divorced, that was the question that I had to ask myself. What am I not willing to say out loud? I knew it, but I wasn't willing to say it for a while, and I eventually did, and I stayed a little too long, but I got there. So that's a great question to reflect on if you feel stuck.
So what you need to do to get to that next level is really like find the right resources. And ladies, like be prepared to make some hard decisions that are going to help change your life. And some things that we can just like give little action tips right now is, start breaking your routine, start a new routine, switch things up that aren't making you happy. Whatever's making you not happy, get rid of it.
I saw somebody said, how do you deal with the people that are basically, but she was saying she wants to leave her guy. There's nothing wrong with him. She just wants something different. Years ago, I had lunch with a friend and she said, oh, I'm going through a divorce. And she seemed very happy. And I was like, wow, I'm so sorry. She goes, don't be sorry. He's a great guy. He's a good father. He's a good guy. He's a good father. But I deserve great. And that's what I want in my life. I want to know, even if I have to have 10 marriages, that I went for great, because I wouldn't be able to live with myself at the end if I didn't even try. And I was like, wow, I never heard that before. So that's what I would say. When you're moving forward in your life, don't do it for anybody else but yourself.
Settling is never the vibe.
Never.
Ever, in anything, in your job, in your health, in your relationship, in your friendships. It is in this space, we don't settle at all for anything.
Especially not mediocrity. If you are not feeling fabulous, you're settling. If you don't feel excited every single day, know you are settling, and that's how you know. So a few other things: find role models, find people you look up to, and see how they move within their lives. Ask for support. Surround yourself with like-minded women. Work out, eat well, get rest, take care of your body, honestly, and whatever that looks like to you, whatever that looks like. We're not telling you how to work out, how to eat, or how to take care of yourself, but just feel good about yourself. Have fun, Happiness is really important. Joy.
Yeah, it is really important. And again, so many people lose it. And, Dara and I realized through teaching these courses that a lot of people have lost their childlike wonder, their childlike happiness, because the adulting has taken over. And it's like so important for you to be an adult and handle your business. Sometimes, you know what? Just have a great freaking time, like with your girlfriends. Maybe have some tequila, shoot with water guns, like do a slip and
So
slide.
now we're all getting divorces.
We'll throw the party.
Listen, I got a guy, FYI.
You got
Yeah,
it.
so what's
This
interesting,
is actually
you guys?
funny.
This is a really funny full circle moment too. We have a lot of them. I'm sure we'll have many more through our friendship. But like when I was ready to get my divorce, I called Gwen and she gave me the name of her attorney, and I used him to get my divorce. And it was like literally the easiest, most simple thing.
Well, he was a mediator.
Yeah, and I knew I was going to manifest. So this is what happened. A lot of people will tell you things, right? So a lot of people were saying things to me, including another attorney. You're going to have to pay your husband so much money in maintenance because you're the breadwinner of the family. It's going to be nasty. It's going to be ugly. It's going to be expensive. He's going to fight you on this. This could happen. That could happen. Every worst case scenario. And I was terrified. I remember the first attorney I went to, I came home sobbing. And I was just so scared. I was with my mom. She was like, just don't do it. Just stay, whatever. Because we didn't know it was going to happen. And I went to Gwen's guy and it was the most easy thing. Because I said, I'm going to manifest the most amicable divorce. I'm going to manifest this with ease and it's going to go smoothly. And it did. And my husband and I are best friends to this day. He actually comes with me to my Buddhist meditations. We go together. We're good friends. I didn't have to pay him anything. I mean, everything was smooth. It was seamless. But how funny that I got the mediator's name from Gwen after I helped her go through her divorce like 7 years earlier. So you never know, right? Like who you're going to meet.
Well, that's the thing about having great friends. You pull them up, like on the ladder.
Okay, so ladies, I want you to know you are not too far to come back to your core self and reinvent yourself. So I want to take the rest of this time right now to let you know, if you want deeper support on your new journey, if you're feeling inspired by this, if you're ready to take action, we do want to invite you to apply to our mastermind. What we're doing, and I get asked this so much, I know Kara does, if we do one-on-one coaching.
I have also been asked.
Okay, Gwen has also one-on-one coaching, and that is not what I do. But we are coming together to give a 5-week mastermind program. It's high level intensive, and it is application only. The reason for application only is we want to make sure that we're creating the right environment of supportive women for each other and creating a safe space where we can really share. So,
well, I think is that you need to, if for this art of reinvention, you need to want to reinvent yourself.
By the way.
It's called the art
of reinvention. Sorry if I didn't mention.
It's the art of reinvention. We decided to do this and we're like, what are we going to leave people with? How can we create this an ongoing? Because we love to do these little freebies and these calls, but then people feel like they want further guidance, right? So we decided to put together this 5-week mastermind called the Art of Reinvention.
Right.
And this is our first mastermind. So Kara does this a lot, but we're really excited.
Yeah. So the thing is that we, one of the reasons we wanted to do the application is because this is so ridiculous, but we did.
Emma, can you drop the link for the mastermind if they want to apply?
Yeah. So we did have somebody, I remember on our blueprint, she signed up. She was the first person that signed up. She said that we went through everyone's problems. What was their issue that they wanted to go over? She said her biggest thing from stopping her to be successful was what?
Oh my God. The first day, she said the number one thing that stopped her from being successful is her lack of follow through. Guess what?
She never
showed up again to any of the other classes. I was like, okay.
Right. So,
well,
yeah.
You know your problem.
After she paid in full. So we say that to say is that we are really about what we're teaching, what we're talking about. We put a lot of time into the program, into the workbooks, into the worksheets, into the resources, into the calls, into the courses. Everything is scripted. Everything is making sure it's hardcore and intense. And we want the people that are with us to be about it.
Yeah. And that's really the reason for the application this time. This is only for women that are willing to put in the work and want to see real changes in their lives and are willing to be about it. Mm-hmm. Because we are so about it, and we are so about it for you that we're giving you all our all. We want you giving us your all.
So. Yeah. And the thing about masterminds, I've been doing them now for a decade, right? And I've done them in every which way. I've done them without applications, with applications. I've had huge groups. I've had small groups. This is going to be a more intimate group. The way you show up in a mastermind affects everyone else's success. So this is like when you show up, you're not only showing up for yourself, not for other women. on the call, giving your input, your advice. And it's not that you need to be at a certain level in your life or business to do this. We just want to know that you are fully invested the way we're fully investing in you guys. We're going to be meeting every Friday starting July 29th at noon Eastern. There'll be probably 60 to 90-minute calls, depending on how many people join. And it's not just like this, where we're just kind of giving you inspiration. You're going to be getting hot seat coaching. You're going to be getting direct access to our brains, our years of experience in our own lives and our professional lives and everything that we've
Sorry,
accomplished.
there's like a troller in here.
Oh, okay. Oh, there's a spider in someone's booty. Okay, well,
Hey Nick.
sorry,
okay,
Nick,
Emma,
about
can
that.
you get rid of Emma? Can you get rid of Nick and the spider in the booty? Thanks.
So listen, at the end of the day, like whether you guys to decide to continue on the journey with us, or you're going to take your own path with the just coming back and saying, you know what, like that's it. This is my time. I'm making a comeback for myself. You need to be about it. You need to be about it in such a focused way that let no one else stop you. Let no one else say anything around you. You know, you don't even need to tell anybody about it. Whether that's like going back to gym, whether that's getting a new degree, whether that's changing your job, whether it's changing careers, whether you would like, you know what, I want to be a mom. I'm single and I want to be a mom. So I'm going to go on that plight and I don't need no one to say anything about it. Whatever your plight is for that next level of your life or for your great comeback, you need to be so about it that let no one else stand in your way.
So someone's asking what hot seat coaching is. So I'll just for those of you that don't know, I have a background in coaching. I've a decade ago, I was certified. I'm a certified professional life coach. I'm a certified professional master coach. I'm certified in laser coaching, group coaching, executive coaching. I mean, I have like a whole laundry list of things. I'm highly skilled and educated in the field of coaching. And the difference is when someone gives you advice, which is great, that's more like mentoring, which we all three of us do, right? We're giving you our thoughts and our feedback based on our experiences. Coaching is a little bit different. Coaching is really empowering the client to get to the answer within themselves. So it involves deep listening. It involves powerful questioning. It involves reflecting back. It's a lot like psychology, except when you're coaching someone, that person is like at optimal, that person is at a functional level, right? They're not suffering from like a serious issue, like, you know, a mental illness. They're pretty much, although some of us could say we have some mental illness.
Who doesn't, guys? Who doesn't?
We're all a little off. Okay, no. But it's somebody that's like at a functional level and we're taking them to an optimal level. So the blend between coaching and mentoring is really, really powerful. And it's what I've done in my career for over 10 years.
So wait, before you get that, so we're going to go over about 10 minutes. We're going to take the next 10 minutes to answer any specific questions. If you're thinking about applying to the mastermind or you want more information on what it entails, feel free to stay on and we will talk about that specifically. I'm going to move it closer to us. We can take you off. You know, if you have a question, raise your hand. You can put the questions in the box and, you know, in the little chat box, and we'll answer them. So thank you everyone so much for joining us for this session, and anyone that wants to stay on to chat with us further that may be interested, we are here to answer questions, and I'm going to pull this.
Yes, but we hope that this somehow, some way reinvigorated you guys, make you guys know that you have it in you. I hope that you get it in this life. I hope that you make a t-shirt that says getting it and you walk down the street and you inspire other women to like start being like the very best you as possible, because honestly, life is not promised. Time is not promised. And you got one shot.
All right. So I'm going to get into the questions because there are questions. So
anybody that doesn't want to stay on, we
thank
are
you
done
so
with
much.
the comeback.
Thank you guys. We love you so much. And we're so happy you're here. Make sure you follow us on Instagram and stay in our world and stay in touch with us. We're going to do so many more of these. So thank you.
Okay. So let's get into the questions.
Thanks, everyone.
Is there exercises in each session?
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. There will be homework and workbooks for each module. The investment is on the website, but for everyone staying on right now, there is a pre-sale promo price. All you have to do is DM us on Crazy Filthy Rich. We have 2 concierges on our Instagram and Facebook, Emma and Becky, and they are there to answer any questions and give you any pre-sale links that you may want. When is it? It is starting July 29th. It is for 5 weeks at noon.
On Friday.
Every Friday at noon.
And that's EST.
EST. And well, it's EDT right now. Daylight Savings Eastern Time.
Emma, can you drop the link again?
Drop the link again. and there will be replays. If you can't make it, there are replays.
But I will say, we do recommend that you try to come live because that's when you're going to get the most out of this. The reason we're not doing a pre-recorded course is because there is just so much more power in the
Oh, yeah.
live experience where you can receive coaching on the spot. You can ask for our feedback. You can ask us questions. So you can make the calls live. We highly recommend that.
Someone
And-
said we need a merch line with the sayings. It's coming, guys. It's
Yeah,
coming.
we actually just got all our logos designed.
It's really exciting.
I'm actually having some merch tees done for this weekend. But also, yes, it's live. But the cool thing is, and I know that some of our Blueprint women are on here too, is that these women
Yes.
become friends with each other and they support
Yeah.
each other and they
Yes.
help each other and they're still talking to each other and pushing each other through. Several of them have even met up
I-
together for different like
I wanna
happy hours
answer
or things of
this.
that sort.
Same.
Okay, so Ashley Sichow. I might have butchered your name, and I'm so sorry
Sounds
if
like
I
it.
did. I probably
Sichow.
did, but Sichow. Will there be a celebration ceremony, an opportunity to meet in person if we complete the masterclass? You know what? I think we should do that. It will be in Miami.
Thank you. I've been wanting to do
I
that.
think no, but it's only for the people that complete the masterclass.
Like
And we
yacht
have
party.
Like a graduation.
not a yacht party.
A
We're having-
graduation. It'll give me an
She
excuse to
wants
fly
a
down
party.
again.
So we could do it in Miami. Everyone can come, and we can. Have
I'll get
like
us
a
a yacht,
dinner.
guys. Don't worry about it.
Fine, we can do. Fine, we'll do a dinner on. I like a little dinner. A little dinner on a yacht. We could do. Maybe. All right, we'll decide, guys. We can decide as a group when you sign out.
Yeah.
Okay. So how long is each session? Each session will be about an hour to an hour and a half. Thank you, Martha. Oh, so Martha was part of our side hustle course. She already trademarked her names. That was about creating a business. Her domain name made an important interview with a very well-known doctor in the menopause world. I'm so proud of you, Martha. Like, you crushed it during that course. You took your idea from inception to execution, and that was amazing. How many people are we accepting into this course?
We don't have a number yet. We're going to see as we go. It's definitely going to be
It's gonna be
limited,
intimate.
and everyone is going to receive one-on-one attention.
Yes.
So it's not going to be so
It's
massive
not
where
like
you're not going to get
this.
to talk to us. It will not be as big as this.
Do you have to be clear on your goals before joining, or is it for people who don't know yet exactly what they want for 2.0? You do not have to be clear yet. You just have to know you want a change and you're willing to put in the work. That's my answer. I don't
Yeah.
know if
And
yours
we
is
will
different.
help you flush
We'll
them
go
out.
there with you.
Yeah. Well, we're going to ask you the questions, like I said before. What are you not willing to admit out loud? Like, that's where the coaching piece comes in. So I think it's just so important because you there's no one in your life asking you those questions. Has
No.
anyone ever been asked that before? Has anyone
No.
ever been kind of pushed to go deeper? So that's where we come in. So you do not need the clear goal.
So is it a Facebook group? What platform do we meet on? We have a private Facebook group. I'm sure you guys are all in it. If not, join it. But we're going to meet on Zooms. We're going to meet like this, but it's going to be a smaller group and we're just going to be talking. And there will be a back-end platform for the replays to be on.
and the homework. And the,
So
know
our
this.
Facebook group is Crazy Filthy Rich right now. There's a big group in it. And so jump on in.
Is there a payment plan for the masterclass? Yes, there is. I know this may sound kind of cheesy and it's embarrassing, but is there any way that a scholarship, what's a scholarship? You mean like, can you ask what a scholarship is? That
Like a
a
free-
subsidized, a free one? We haven't talked about it, but we can discuss internally and get back to you. So I'm like, corporate.
And it's not cheesy. You never get
never- listen, you
anything
have to
that
always
you don't
ask,
ask for.
but right now it is just paid. Like I will
Canadian-
say.
Canadians are welcome. Everyone's
Oh, of
welcome.
course,
all over the
international,
world.
Canadian, wherever you are.
Yeah.
I don't care where you are. So are there any other questions? We have about 5 more minutes. Does anyone want to raise their hand, ask us a question, or ask it in the chat? And don't be embarrassed. Like, turn your cameras on. No?
Hi, Rebecca.
What are you saying, Rebecca? Wait.
No. Saying some 103 people.
Oh, my sister. I saw my
I did
niece.
have a question. I think it might have got skipped in the chat.
Yes, go for it.
My question, I caught the fuck it moment story for each of you and enjoyed hearing that. I joined a few minutes late, so I might have missed the crazy filthy rich story.
There was no crazy, filthy, rich fuck it moment. We all had our personal fuck it moments and led us to where we are now. And our personal fuck it moments led us to wanting to help other women realize them and get past them and live their best life. Who's can you say your
Fabiana.
name? Sorry, is that
Fabiana.
Fabiana asking us?
Fabiana.
Fabiana, yes.
Ah,
Well, actually, that's not entirely true.
Okay.
So basically, we had our PR business that we were doing for years, and we've been doing for like 20 years. I've now been doing PR for like 25 years. Always had our own successful businesses. However, there is a time, especially during COVID, that it was very, very hard to be a publicist. And while we did, plow through and we actually got new clients, so many of our other clients failed. And so many of our friends that had PR firms failed. And what we realized is that we needed to also make a sustainable brand for ourselves that basically we didn't have to count on anyone else to stay in business to have other income for ourselves. B, we realized what was really important to us during that time even more, and it's not just selling stories for brands and
Yeah.
getting them out in the media. It really is helping women and helping to elevate other people. That is completely and deeply what brings me joy and satisfaction every day in life. If I could help one person take a step up, like for me, I'm good.
I also love we built so many brands to such large, successful brands. And taking it down to like the individual, what Gwen said, if you can help one person, that can help generations to come even, right? If you empower one woman to make one great change, what that does for generations and generations.
Yep.
Fabiana, that was you that asked that question, or you said you have a question?
She has a
Sorry, not
question.
clear.
I have like a question slash all these things. I relate a lot with you guys. I've been like on this struggle mode before the pandemic. I've been homeless. I've been so many things, but I keep pushing and pushing and pushing, even though people tell me just to like go back to my family, go back to everything. I still am in the mindset of like, no, like I still got it in me, even though I'm dragging myself, but like I still got it. Right. And I've noticed how life and all these situations has changed me and my persona and my self-esteem and everything. And as you guys were talking about doing the list, I sat down and started like my 2 lists, right? And I would love to join and be a part of this. And but I'm in this position on not knowing what to do. Like I have to leave this apartment where I'm at in 2 weeks, and I don't have a job, and so many other things are like coming back again. And I am so ready for a change. And I feel I've been changing little by little, but it does get to a point when you hit rock bottom that you feel that there's, no light at the end of the tunnel, even though it's not like that. Like there's always a solution for everything. But it is very hard when you're like on your own in a new city and all these things, right? So it's like I want to do all this, yet there gets to a point where you feel so very lost, even though you do know what are the things that you need to do. But,
Right. Well, what I would do is create an action plan based off of necessity, right? Because at the end of the day, it does cost money, and you have to decide always what you need for your life right now to make sure that you're safe and that you're okay and that you're good. Do you know what I'm saying? So if it's like, hey, I got to figure out where I'm going to live. Hey, I need to go find it. I would make sure that all your bases were covered. Make sure you're super straight.
Yeah.
Keep in our programming, like take our courses or our free courses, or if there's a way down the road, the paid courses. And then also make sure you're part of the community and being in the group, because sometimes you don't have to do everything at one time, right? Sometimes you could be like, I'm taking this little step and then I'm going to do this step and this step. But a lot of times, and I'm not saying your fault, a lot of times people will be like, well, this is always happening. This is the cycle I'm in. But you do need to take a deeper look at yourself. And I'm not saying you directly because of your circumstances, but why is it happening to me? Where am I at now? Where am I really at now? And what are the steps, whether they're baby steps or frog leaps, how am I going to get there to the next step now? Do you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like you do
make your list of priorities that keep you safe first before investing in anything else. And then feel free to DM any one of us further, and we can discuss offline a little bit on what we think that looks
But
like.
power to you for fighting the fight, girl.
Hell yeah, you go, girl.
Thank you.
How and when is the one-on-one time determined? Is there one-on-one time each week? It's each week, and everyone is getting one-on-one. It's not determined anyway.
And
it will be each week.
We say one-on-one time, meaning you have the ability to ask us questions live, and we will stay on the calls till we answer your questions.
Yeah.
It's not like specific an hour a week for you. It's a mastermind environment, but as you ask questions, we'll be here to answer them just like we are right now.
The next question by Polished Policies. Do you review? I know Emma answered that. I'm just going to out loud. Do you review each application thoroughly? Yes. Could you do a consultation before committing? We don't do consultations. That's what this is for right now. So if you have any questions for us, we're happy to answer them to see if it's a right fit. And we do review the
And
application.
Emma's going to be in the DM.
And Emma and Becky are both in your DMs, in the Crazy Filthy Rich DMs, answering questions. And you can always DM one of us as well.
Totally.
What does the payment plan consist of? That will be on the website. Emma and Becky will tell you that in the DMs as well. You joined a little late. Sorry if I asked questions. No question. All questions are good questions. Just looking. What's the Facebook group? Emma, you want to drop the Facebook group link in the chat as well, please? Everyone should join.
Pre-courses. No pre-courses required.
Nothing's no pre.
Just the application.
Just apply. Do you have any recommendation on good life coaches? Well, Kara, but I don't know if she's really doing that anymore.
I don't really take on one-on-one. I really just do masterminds, high level stuff, and then everything else is just through my podcast and my.
So that's what like this
Girl and Fire
really
Coach. Yeah.
is for, the coaching.
Right. The goal is to work alongside us, to
Partner with us.
To kind of bring back your power. So we work as a team. So us and you, to not only bring you back, but help reinvent yourself, to push you to the best level of yourself. So that is coaching, mentoring.
Lori, I see you have your hand up. Maybe that was
Hey guys. Yeah, sorry, couldn't figure out how to unmute.
Hi.
Yeah, so hi. So this is the first time I've met you guys actually. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. I follow Kara and that's how I found out about this. But
I got some cards.
so yeah, I'm in a bit of a weird spot. I'm trying to figure out if this is the right fit for me or not. So I've had a chronic health issue, a traumatic brain injury that's sidelined my life, burned my life to the ground. I'm starting to come out of it, and I'm in a weird in between space where I'm not really old me anymore, but I need to sort of try and I feel intuitively that I need to figure out sort of what version 2.0 looks like before I can sort of complete the healing process and move on to it. Like I need to know where I'm going, if that makes sense. And so I don't know if this would be a good fit for that, or if the health issues kind of complicates things or what, but I thought I'd ask you guys.
That would be on your end to determine the health issues. But for us, I think it's a perfect time for you to really find the path to go forward and explore yourself. You know, there's gonna be a lot of deep questions asked, and figure out where you're going.
And we're going to send,
self-reflection.
Sorry, Diane.
No, please cut me off.
We're also going to give you guys some pre-work before the mastermind begins, basically a welcome packet that's going to have a lot of questions that are going to get you really digging in and figuring out what you want to get out of this experience. So don't feel like you're just going to jump in blind and have to show up and give us a list of goals like call number 1. This is collaborative. So we're here to help you get to that version of you. It's not like you have it. If you knew already everything you needed to do, you wouldn't need our support.
Exactly.
Yeah. So the thing is that we have people in our other programs as 2 women, they have like severe autoimmune diseases. So they are always having to go to the doctor, and their life has also drastically changed because of it. So we totally understand that and get that. But, you know, one thing that I guess because we talk too much about our stories, like we missed in talking in what we had written down is that so many times, like yours is a severe case, obviously it's that happened, right? Okay, you had a brain injury, but like a lot of times when people even like are moms and they don't know who they are anymore, or they become widowed, they don't know who they are anymore because they didn't plan for this. This wasn't expected. And, you know, or they lose both parents and now they have to care for, 10 siblings, and then they're in a position, it's funny. Well, it's not funny at all. And it's not comparing to yours, but when I lost my mom, I realized that now, like my dad and my dynamic was changed. I kind of had to become the parent and then take care of him. And I wasn't expecting that. I didn't know that. So now I had to be in this role I wasn't ready for. So I think that this happens a lot in life. Obviously it's not a brain injury, but it also is like, when people go, this woman, Martha on here, she always talks about like, well, now I went into menopause. My life is so different. My hormones, my body, my weight. How do I navigate this new world when I don't even feel like me anymore? You know what I mean? So what do we do? How do I take hold of the current situation, accept what is, and then how do I navigate to push forward around it? So we would love to have you, Lori, and we don't think that that's going to stop at us at all. Or you.
Awesome. Okay. Yeah. I mean, yeah, trauma and challenges are trauma and challenges. There's no comparison game for sure. And
Correct.
and I'm also just turned 40, so that's a whole other part of it too, right? So
That's a big one.
Yeah,
I will
exactly.
tell you.
I am on a whole thing about my 40s. Like I love my 40s.
Me
I'm
too.
42 and I have never felt more empowered. I've never felt more confident. I've never felt sexier. It's the best
No,
sex of
she's
your
a
life,
siren.
by the
Thanks to
way.
Marilyn Monroe over here, this one.
Yeah.
No, the 40s, like
Awesome.
I'm on a whole thing right now. So if you're in your 40s, get in with us.
Are you kidding
will-
me? I'm 46. I won't take off a crop top. No, I don't care.
Yeah.
Crop top
I
queen.
love it. I love it.
so,
Okay, thanks so much, guys.
Of course, Lori.
Yeah.
Of course, Lori.
Katie, would you ladies be willing to tag each of your websites and social media? Yes. Emma, if you can drop in all of the, each one of our Instagrams and the social media accounts and all of the information. Well, and we'll also send a follow-up email with all that information for you guys.
Yeah, we'll email you guys like with the replay of this, the link to join, and anything.
Someone said
else
there's
that you
no
need.
way you're 46. It's true. Her energy is like of a 20-something-year-old. It's insane.
It's called Cafe Bustelo.
No, it's
Thank
like
you
this,
so
like
much.
she has this like innate,
Espresso
like,
double.
she has like a
shot.
lithium battery shoved up her, like the spider up the booty. You have a
Yeah.
battery up the booty.
Well, actually, it is chemically. We talked about this. Some
Yeah.
people have like way more serotonin and there's something else
Whatever.
that's
yeah,
like,
but
I don't know, I might maybe have a battery pack of it.
she has a battery pack extra charged. All right, ladies. If any other questions, these we
Last call. We gotta
last
run.
call. Last
No, I gotta
call.
go prepare for this yacht party.
Yeah, we got some.
And I'm gonna prepare it so then make it extra hot. So then it's extra hot for our party. Anytime I can squeeze a party into Dara's life, it makes me really happy. So please let this happen, people.
Yeah, she loves.
We'll do a
to make-
whole weekend, a dinner party,
See,
a
see,
beach day.
if you give Gwen 1 inch, she takes a mile. That's why I always gotta say no to her. Because otherwise she's like, okay, well, what about this? And this,
See,
and
for the
this.
weekend
and this.
celebration.
She's like, it'll turn into a month-long celebration.
between me and Kara, this will happen. Don't worry about it.
All right, guys.
We love you so
We
much.
love
Thank
you.
you guys.
Thank
for
you
being
so
here.
much for joining. Bye.